Good morning, guys. Ashantin here. I am doing a little bit of a sort of talky episode today. I thought I would talk to you about how I started playing Minecraft. It's always fascinating finding out why people do things. Starting off, I was never a games player. I didn't even use computers very much. On a summer's day, you'd find me lying in the garden, reading novels, sunbathing, gardening, definitely nowhere near computers. I used them at work, but I didn't do much else with them. The odd spreadsheet and stuff like that. I had a friend who was a very avid games player, so while I was in the garden, sunbathing, reading, he was the type of bloke that would be crouched over a computer, battling away, curtains closed, fighting off enemies. And anyway, he was determined that he would try to teach me to like computer games because it was such a passion of his. He thought I ought to share this passion. So basically, he started trying to introduce me to games. And of course, the first thing he was playing was sort of World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, stuff like that. It was basically just fighting, and I just thought it's not really me. It's not something I find that interesting. So I decided that I wouldn't play those. And then he knows that I read a lot of science fantasy and science fiction, which has always been something I've thoroughly enjoyed ever since I read Lord of the Rings. And so he showed me Skyrim and was saying, gosh, look, when it first came out, look at the graphics. Isn't it fantastic? Look at this fascinating story. It's all for science fiction, science fantasy. And I'm thinking, wow, watched it for a bit, agreed that the graphics were lovely, but it didn't grab me. So anyway, one day he said, you've got to see this new game I'm playing. You have to see this game I'm playing. Okay, why? Said I. And he said, well, it's only just sort of become generally available. It's called Minecraft. I think you'll like it. So he showed me this game, and it was absolutely amazing. He had spawned in a snow biome. So the first thing I didn't see it in daylight. The first thing I ever saw was when it was, excuse me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I sneezed. I'm so sorry. The first thing I saw, it was night, and there was stars. Winnie, I'm up to you. Stars, can you imagine that? It was absolutely beautiful. And not just with the stars, but even though the graphics were very square, that's the only way to describe them, it was actually gorgeous. Oh my goodness. That's a drop. And there were wolves and skeletons and zombies and oh my goodness. Anyway, he said, would you like to have a go at building this? And I thought I definitely would. So he was playing on, I think it was, I can't remember if it was an Xbox or PlayStation 4. It was some sort of thing with consoles anyway. So there we were with me trying to play on a console alongside this guy who was, virtually a full-time games player in his spare time. It was not terribly successful, to put it mildly. Added to that, of course, neither of us knew what we were doing, so we thought that, well, we didn't really know what we thought. We built this shack together out of, I think it was dirt, and we went to sleep at night, and it was full of skeletons, and we could not understand why it was full of skeletons. And I kept saying, I think we've built on a graveyard, we've built on a graveyard. Neither of us had any clue that, in fact, you needed light to keep the skeletons away. So we were in this dark hole, absolutely riddled with skeletons, getting killed every minute. It wasn't exactly successful. With me trying to play on a console that I'd never played, couldn't work. It was actually so awful, but I really liked the game and I really wanted to play it. So this friend of mine could see an opening into getting me into playing games. And he said, look, I don't think a console is for you, understatement of the year, but why don't you play on my iPad? And I started playing the Pocket Edition on the iPad, which for me was doable, and it was just wonderful. My friend then got to the stage where he couldn't get his iPad back, because I was always borrowing it, and became quite strident that I should actually try and buy my own iPad, which I did. And then I became utterly addicted to it. I love the Pocket Edition. That's where I learned most of Minecraft, actually. And of course, you start finding it, you look at it, you look at different wikis, you look at the Mojang site, and you find Paul Sawers Jr. Who hasn't started by watching Paul Sawers Jr.? I was one of the people who was playing the Pocket Edition when they upgraded to a different edition, and there was this burning worlds bug where your world literally caught fire and burnt, and I am a veteran of the burning worlds bug. Ever since then I have been slightly reluctant to put in the new upgrades until they are well proven. I think these days Mojang are a lot better at it. So there I was, playing away on the Pocket Edition, watching Paul Sawers, and it gradually dawned on me that there were better versions with unlimited maps if you played on a proper machine, if you played on a laptop or a PC or something like that. So temptation was raising its ugly head. I was still very keen on the game. And there were two things that really persuaded me to move onto a bigger version with unlimited maps. One was that on the Pocket Edition, for a long time we didn't have weather, we didn't have snow and clouds and stuff like that. It's just an endless blue sky. But I saw Paul Sawers build his cosy cottage in a snow biome, and I must admit I've always loved snow biomes, and it was just gorgeous. And I remember thinking, you know what, I really would like to be in one of these snow biomes. So eventually I plucked up courage and I bought a laptop, then I could take it on holiday with me, a MacBook Pro. And would you believe that is the computer I'm playing on at the moment? I've always played vanilla Minecraft on this laptop. It's been absolutely brilliant for me. And as soon as I got onto the big maps, I absolutely, I'd loved it as a Pocket Edition. But on the big maps, I was just, And that was at the time when they were bringing out things like, my first ever map, which I still have to this day. I started off everything basically within one day's journey of Spawn, and therefore I hadn't travelled very far. And they suddenly did the, was it Changing of the World or something update, where they put in all the different biomes, and I had these amazing fault lines around my map, and one of the first ones that spawned near me was a flower forest. And for a person like me that loves flowers, coming from nowhere and just a very basic map into living in a flower forest was just gorgeous. And that really was my addiction sorted out and settled. From there, of course, I have progressed into playing Life in the Woods, and also I found other computer games that I really like playing. But it was the Minecraft Pocket Edition that got me addicted. And had I not started playing Minecraft, I think I would still have been very, very computer illiterate. I'm not that good now, but it got me into YouTube because it got me into watching YouTube videos on how to play Minecraft. It got me a lot more into searching the internet, you know, finding out how to do things, finding different YouTubers, finding the Minecraft wiki. So it got me into the internet. And then, of course, it started me making little videos. So that, wow, is the story of how I started playing Minecraft. And basically, I was very, very lucky because I was introduced to it by a very kind friend who did not give up on me. Or was he kind? I was certainly introduced to it by a friend who was not going to allow me to escape the addiction of computer gaming. So, do I love him or do I hate him for introducing me to such an addiction? Bye-bye, guys.